everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm so excited to be here and answer all of your questions about nutrition and real food and making snacks for your family, making snacks on the go for you, breakfast, lunch. You guys just hit me with your questions. I'm here to answer everything. But I wanted to kick tonight off with a special announcement. So we got some really great comments last week on our video, and there was a $50 Rayleigh's gift card on the line for you guys to win. I just wanted to announce the winner. So the winner of last week's $50 Rayleigh's gift card was Holly DeVito. So congratulations, Holly. I want to know what you buy with the $50 at Rayleigh's. Hopefully it's something yummy. So yeah, and I wanted to just go over some of the questions that have come through already. The first one that we got was, which berries are best for you? So we talked a little bit about smoothies, and I recommended some berries in the smoothie video that we did. And you know, honestly, all berries are good for you. They really are. Blueberries and raspberries pack the biggest punch when it comes to antioxidants. And antioxidants are things that inhibit oxidation, which is the formation of free radicals. And so, you know, when your antioxidant level in your body is lower than your free radical level in your body, then your body suffers. And there can be a lot of things that cause that, but poor nutrition is one of them. So we want to get the antioxidant levels back up so that we don't come across things like advanced aging, reduced immune system. So blueberries, raspberries are definitely, they pack the biggest punch as far as antioxidants go. So definitely start putting those in your smoothies. And then that kind of leads to another question that came through about fruits. Are fruits too high in sugar? That's a big question that I get asked all the time. Yes, fruits are higher in sugar, natural sugars, of course, so it's not like, you know, cane sugar, refined sugars, but they can still cause some problems. So a lot of people think that sugars are kind of a freebie. You can eat as many as you want and not suffer any consequences because, you know, sugars are benign, they're neutral, or fruits are benign, not neutral, but they can cause problems. They can definitely start raising your blood sugar throughout the day, which leads to other issues. So I usually tell people, go easy on the fruits because they do, you know, act like sugars in the body. So 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day is kind of what I like to do. I don't like to go over that, and it's really hard, you guys. In the summertime, all these amazing stone fruits are coming into season, peaches and plums and all the berries and stuff. So just, you know, everything in moderation, right? Don't sit down to a big bowl of fruit 3 times a day. That might send you kind of over the edge with blood sugar levels, but, you know, keep it in moderation. 2 to 3 servings a day is plenty. So that was a really good question that came through. Someone also asked, because we talked about morning smoothies, someone asked about bananas. So she had a banana allergy, and so this was Roxanne. Roxanne, actually, I think her boyfriend had a banana allergy, and she said, what can I put in smoothies to keep it smooth and creamy instead of a banana, because we can't eat bananas? And a really great thing that I love to add to smoothies, obviously, are avocados. They keep the smoothie, the texture of the smoothie really creamy. So avocados, you can't taste them. They don't tend to turn the smoothie too green, so that's an easy fix. And then coconut milk is very smooth and creamy, so add some of that. And then another thing you can add in that does not affect the flavor at all is cauliflower. So like riced cauliflower, you can buy it in bags that are frozen, and you just take it right out of the freezer, put in maybe like 1/4 cup of riced cauliflower, frozen riced cauliflower, and it will give your smoothie a nice creamy texture as well if you can't do bananas. So avocados, coconut milk, and riced cauliflower are really good options if you can't do bananas in a smoothie. So that was a great question. Thank you, Roxanne. We did talk a little bit about overnight oats in one of our recent videos, and I know those are super popular. And somebody asked, how can you make overnight oats taste sweet without using sugar or brown sugar? A lot of people, you think oatmeal, they immediately go to brown sugar. Brown sugar is just highly processed, so I like to go for more natural sweeteners. So obviously you can use some dates, you can use some honey or maple syrup are definitely better options than brown sugar. But honestly, you know, if you put a little bit of cinnamon in there, that tends to kind of help the sweet tooth along a little bit. Cinnamon definitely helps get rid of that sweet craving for a lot of people. And then, what else was the thing I was going to tell you? There was something else, but definitely dates. Those are a really great way to sweeten. Oh, molasses, that's the other one. Molasses is an often overlooked sweetener. It's very natural. It takes some getting used to the flavor, obviously, but because it is a strong flavor, but it really adds a lot of depth to overnight oats. And someone also asked a question about overnight oats. How long can you keep them in the refrigerator? And I have a pretty hard and fast 4-day rule when it comes to prepared foods, leftover foods. If it's been in there for 4 days, then you need to let it go, say goodbye to it, and just not risk any foodborne illnesses. So 4 days is kind of the maximum that I say for overnight oats. So you could even do like 4 mason jars full of overnight oats and then just have it ready to go for the morning. And then somebody also asked if you could put frozen fruit in there. Absolutely, frozen fruit would be totally fine. You know, you don't really lose any nutritional value when your fruit is frozen. For people that are on the go, that's a really easy thing to do. Just throw in the frozen fruit when you make the overnight oats, and you don't have to think about it in the morning when you're rushing out the door. Your fruit is already in there, it's already sweet. And fresh fruit obviously is good too. Bananas, berries, those are all great things to put in oatmeal. Okay, so Catherine wrote in saying that she was trying to incorporate more vegetables into her diet, especially at breakfast. And she said, please help. So, good for you, Catherine, for trying to put more veggies in. A lot of people need to do that and don't realize it, so yay to you. So definitely, it's hard. Breakfast can be really hard when you're trying to eat clean, because as a society we are so focused on, you know, pancakes and waffles and cereals and toast and bagels. We're very carb heavy as a society, and it's hard to even think about spinach at 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning, whatever time you eat. So getting veggies in is more challenging at breakfast for sure. So I usually tell people it's smoothies. Again, it goes back to smoothies. You can throw anything into a smoothie as long as you have a little bit of fruit in there to kind of offset the bitterness that some greens contain. You'll be good. So throw in some spinach into your smoothie. Throw some celery into your smoothie. It's an easy thing to do, and you won't even know that it's there. You really won't even notice. Hash is a really easy way to get some extra veggies in. So Catherine just tried dicing up maybe some sweet potatoes. There are some really great different colored sweet potatoes. I've seen purple ones and orange ones, and there's even these white ones that are called Hannah sweet potatoes, and they taste more like a russet potato. So they're definitely creamier. So dice those up pretty small and cook them in a frying pan in a little like coconut oil or olive oil, whatever you have. And then when they start to soften, you can throw in whatever vegetables you can. Throw in some carrots, throw in some chopped up spinach. If you're into, you know, fresh herbs, some basil would be amazing in there. You can put some broccoli in there. You could do some onions and garlic. You know, the options are endless. And so you can also, if you eat meat, throw some meat in there. Throw some leftover chicken from the night before. If you got some steak left over, throw that in there, and then you just cook it all up. If you want to toss an egg in there at the very end and scramble that with the veggies and the potatoes, oh my goodness, that would make an amazing breakfast that will keep you full all the way through lunch. Easy peasy. So Catherine, I hope that helps. Well, let me know if you try it and what you end up liking the best. Okay, so a couple more questions. Holly asked if I had any ideas for snacks to keep in the car so that she's always got something on hand for hunger pains. You guys, this is big. So I used to do a lot of commuting between home and school, picking kids up and dropping them off, and I would go back and forth several times throughout the day, and I would get so hungry as the day went on. So I started carrying around what we called a feed bag, and it was just like a little, you know, I think ours was a Lululemon bag, but I would always have those in the car, and I still do. I could go to my car right now and show it to you, but there's always a bag in my car full of great snack options for myself and my kids for when the hunger pain hits and you're on the road and you just can't stop at fast food or drive-thrus or whatever. So I usually have, you know, nut butters in there, the little individual packets of nut butters. I keep those in there. I keep, you know, several of the bars like we discussed in the previous video. bars that had, 10 grams of sugar or less in them, that don't have chocolate in them, because in this heat, oh my goodness, it's gonna melt and make a big giant mess. So there are a lot of kind bars out there that I like. Meat sticks are big, if they are vacuum sealed, they're totally safe to be in the car. I do have a few, we're gluten-free, so I have a few gluten-free like rice crackers in there. What else do I have? There are even a few, I'll throw some mandarins in there, or maybe an apple, or even those individually packaged fruits like peaches or pineapple or mandarin oranges. So yeah, just having a stash of things like that in the car, so that when you're driving around and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm hungry, oh my gosh, that drive-through looks really, really tempting right now. Just get some extra nutrients in to get you through till the next meal, so that you aren't tempted. So thank you, Holly, for that amazing question. Okay, so what do I recommend? Sonia wants to know, what do you recommend snacking on besides fruits? So yeah, fruits are a totally easy grab and go snack, and like I said, we can kind of overdo them. Personally, I overdid it with fruits for a long time and didn't realize it, and I ended up pre-diabetic, and that was kind of scary. So I stopped, grazing on fruits all day. That was always my go-to snack. And I didn't realize what it was doing to my blood sugar over time. So I've learned to not do that, and I've learned to keep snacks in my purse all the time, keep snacks in the car all the time. So like I said, the nut butters, the meat sticks, and honestly, I keep a little cooler bag with me pretty much all day long, and I've got just an ice block in there, and I'll keep half of an avocado with a little plastic spoon in a Ziploc bag. That's always in there. I'll keep carrots on hand, but I keep olives, a great source of fats, healthy fats. I'll keep, like I said, nut butters, meat sticks, and lots of vegetables. I do a lot of cucumbers, in the hot weather. So yeah, there's a lot of options out there that aren't fruit. So dried fruit, I will say, is definitely a way to really spike your blood sugar, and that just wreaks havoc on your adrenals later on. So keep dried fruits to a minimum. I know those are really easy to throw into like trail mixes and things, but just keep them to a minimum. I'm not saying don't eat them, but just, don't go crazy on them. So yes, thank you, Sonia, for that. Ruth wants to know, it's hot, too hot to heat up my kitchen cooking dinner, for sure. What can I feed my family besides ice cream and popsicles? That is a really great question. It is crazy hot, and nobody wants to turn on their oven. So the Instant Pot is my best friend this time of year. I cook in my Instant Pot all the time right now, especially when I don't want to turn on the oven and heat the whole house up. So we do have some really great Instant Pot recipes coming at you in August. So I'm really excited to share some of those super easy ones with you, and I know the Instant Pot can be kind of intimidating for some people, so I'm going to walk you through how to use it safely, and they really are pretty foolproof, and you won't blow up your kitchen. But definitely the Instant Pot, and then there are nights that I just don't feel like cooking anything. I don't even want to turn the Instant Pot on, and I do what I call toddler dinners. So finger foods. I will, just do like some nitrate-free salami or some cheese and some carrot sticks and, again, half of an avocado. So basically all the things that I would put in a salad, but I just put it all on one plate, and I just call it it's a toddler dinner, because it's all finger foods. So hard-boiled eggs, we do a lot of hard-boiled eggs around here. Those make a great snack, but they also make a really great meal on a hot day. And a lot of times, on these really hot days, your hunger tends to not be as intense other times of the year. So eating cool foods is totally okay, vegetables that have been in the refrigerator for a bit. Again, like I said, just toddler foods. Think toddler foods. What would you give a toddler that's just finger foods that you don't even have to turn anything on? Heck, you could put it on a paper plate so you don't even have to turn on your dishwasher. Okay, how can I encourage my kids to eat healthier food, or my kids won't eat vegetables? What can I do? Oh, you guys, the struggle is real with this one. I have a little guy that refuses to eat vegetables, and as a nutritionist, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. And it's tough, but I've learned that if kids help you grow the food, if you start a little garden, and it doesn't have to be anything huge, you guys, just like a little container garden on your back patio, right? But if your kids help you grow the food, they become more interested in trying the food. So that helps. There are a lot of dehydrated fruits and veggies. Mainly I'm looking at vegetables because, like I said, the fruits tend to be a little too high in sugars. But like, you know, the dehydrated, there's a lot of dehydrated like beet chips and carrot chips, and there's some banana chips out there that don't have a lot of sugar. Plantain chips are a really great way to get those in without the sugar. Dehydrated snap peas are big, and you can dehydrate stuff yourself. And again, smoothies. Smoothies, you can hide just about anything in smoothies. There are a ton of recipes out there about hiding fruits and vegetables and things like brownies. So it's up to you. It all depends on how terrible your kid thinks vegetables are. I mean, my little guy won't go near fresh peas, but I'll give him like the little dehydrated, I think they're called just peas, little dehydrated peas and corn, and he will eat those. So, you know, I just kind of have to pick my battles and say, I'm okay with that, and move on. But definitely, I'm going to try to get him in the garden, growing some stuff on his own and watching it grow from, you know, a seed to the plant, and hopefully that will help. Okay, so you mentioned gardening. What's the best way to start with growing your own veggies? That is a great question. I'm not the biggest gardener. I don't have much of a green thumb. I always joke that I have kind of a black thumb. I can keep people alive, but plants not so much. But a couple years ago, more than that, probably a little longer, I found something called the Earth Box. So I got it at like Home Depot, I think, and it's just this plastic box. And it's got a special drain in it, and it gives you all of the minerals and things that you need. You just put your potting soil in it, you sprinkle the minerals in, you put more potting soil on it, and it has, literally, it's got a map, and it says if you're planting tomatoes, you can plant, you know, 4 of them across this way and 4 of them across that way. If you're planting beans or cucumbers or whatever, it tells you how many you can fit in each box. And you guys, I kid you not, it is foolproof. You cannot kill these plants, because then you put like a little plastic tarp on it that comes with it. And all of a sudden, you just water in the little hole until the water comes out the bottom of the Earth Box, and done. All of a sudden, you've got this huge vegetable garden, and it's really only about this big. So you can put several of them on your back patio, on your front porch, whatever. But for me, with a black thumb, that came in really, really handy, because all of a sudden I felt like a real gardener, and I was producing a lot of great fruits and vegetables for my family, mostly vegetables. But yeah, we had a great time with that. That was a lot of fun. We did lemon cucumbers and tomatoes, and gosh, we did some beans one year, and it was really cool. When my daughter was little, she would just kind of walk out to the garden and start plucking things off and eating them right there, which she wasn't eating for me at the table when I'd say, okay, we're having, you know, green beans today, and she'd go, yuck, but she'd walk out to the garden and eat them right off the plant. So that was really cool. Okay, so another great question. What are some healthy staples I should keep on hand? This is a great question. I wish I could take you guys on another little tour of my pantry, but definitely I always start with oils. If you've got the canola oil, the Weston oils, the vegetable oils in your pantry right now, literally just go take them and throw them away, because they are probably rancid before you even crack the top off of them when you bought them at the store. So the only oils I like to keep in my pantry are coconut oil, avocado oil, and olive oil. Those are the only 3 I cook with, and yes, I bake with them. If on a rare occasion I do make a boxed cake mix, I will totally use any of those oils. I've used all of them in cakes and pancakes and muffins, things like that. Olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil, and they all come in spray form too. Just look at the ingredient list and make sure, because a lot of times they'll mix canola oil in with those things. Other healthy staples. So outside of oils, I usually I've got almond flour in my pantry. I have coconut butter in my pantry, which is a really great thing to bake with. It's also a really great thing just to kind of quell that sweet tooth after a meal. I'll just take a spoonful of coconut butter, and definitely makes me feel like I had a little treat. What else do I have in the pantry? Gosh, I wish I could go in there. Go in there. No, I don't want to go in there. But I do have, you know, there's the only grains we really eat in our house. We eat rice, so we'll do rice pasta. So I've got some of that in there. I always have raw cacao powder for baking. What else? I've always got fresh fruits and vegetables in the fridge. I mean, always, always, always. And I've always got ghee. Ghee is a big thing in our house, just because two in our household don't eat dairy, and so, but we still love butter, and so we cook with ghee, and that just stays on the countertop. It doesn't have to go in the fridge, and it's just basically butter with the lactose is basically removed. It's clarified butter is what it is. So a lot of people that are lactose intolerant actually do okay with ghee. I'm one of those people, so I'll do, you know, anything that I'll use it for anything that I would use butter in. I'll scramble my eggs in some ghee. I'll use it when I bake. I'll put it in stir fries. I'll smear it on some gluten-free toast in the morning. And that's another staple is I've got some gluten-free bread in the fridge. Personally, I like a brand called Bread Seriously. I get it at Whole Foods, but you know, it's just one of the cleaner ones that I like. So yeah, those are some of our staples. I'll probably think of avocados. Oh my gosh, avocados. We buy avocados like 10 at a time usually because we go through a lot of them. Butternut squash, we go through a lot of that. We always have lots of vegetables in our fridge, cooked and raw. So I've always got broccoli. Seems like I've got broccoli coming out of my ears these days, but we always have broccoli. We've always got romaine lettuce. We always have bell peppers and cucumbers and tomatoes and carrots, just kind of always on the ready. So pretty much the three of the four of us will eat all that stuff pretty much raw or cooked. Okay, so Jennifer wants to know, what are some healthy choices for eating out beyond salads? Oh my gosh, I love this question. In fact, we're gonna do a whole video on this in August. So what I love to do, because our family, we don't eat out very much. It's really hard to eat as clean as we do and go out to restaurants without feeling really crummy. So we don't eat out very much, but when we do, we're pretty picky about it. And so there are a few restaurants locally that we trust. But those that we don't, you know, if we're traveling, sometimes you get in a pinch, right? We travel to see family, and we certainly won't be going to any fast food restaurants. But if we go to a restaurant, I will look at the entire menu, even if it's a pizza place. I don't eat pizza, but I'll still go to a pizza place, and because they usually have pasta, and nowadays they will usually have a gluten-free pasta, which is great. And so I look at the entire menu. I look at all of the side dishes that are available for everything. Even if they say, okay, we've got this whatever entree, I don't know what it could be, but an entree that doesn't sound good to me, I'll look at the side dishes. Okay, what does it come with? Oh, it comes with a mashed sweet potato. That sounds good. And then I'll look at this other thing. Oh, that entree comes with this other vegetable, sauteed greens or broccoli or whatever. So I look at the entire menu and I find out basically what their ingredient list is. What are all the ingredients they've got back in their kitchen? And then I become that kind of annoying patron and say, oh, I noticed that you have this. Can I get this entree, but can you put this on the side and that on the side? And they're usually pretty accommodating, especially because I tell them, I've got some food sensitivities and I can't eat this, but that entree sounds really good, but I really want these side dishes. Can you do that? So yeah, just take a look at the entire menu and look at all of the ingredients that they even have on their salads and know, okay, if they've got all these vegetables that they can throw into a salad, they can easily saute that for you. Just throw it in like a quick stir fry and say, hey, that chicken you're selling over here, just throw that into the stir fry too. I do that all the time at, like I said, at pizza restaurants, and I'll say, hey, do you have a gluten-free pasta? Yeah, okay, great. Can you throw some broccoli in and throw some black olives in and all those artichoke hearts that you put on the pizza, throw that in, and then I'm usually okay. So that's a good question. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, Krista wants to know the age-old argument of rice. Is it a good grain or too carby, and is quinoa better? Krista, that is a really good question. It's all dependent on you and your specific body. We are all so completely unique, and we all have unique needs and unique sensitivities. So if rice treats you well digestively, go for it. It's not a horrible thing. Personally, I like white rice over brown rice, just because it's easier to digest. Brown rice, for people that have digestive issues, which is kind of the majority of my practice, is I see a lot of people that have digestive issues and they are eating a lot of brown rice because they are told that brown rice is better for them. Well, it may be better for you, it might have some more nutrients in it, but is it better for you specifically? Maybe not. So if you have digestive issues, I usually tell people, you know what, if you have to eat rice, go for white rice. And then even further, a step further, maybe jasmine and basmati over like a sushi rice, because it does have less carbs, it's just less starchy. But always, always with rice, I rinse and rinse and rinse again until I have a little rice colander, until the water comes out completely clear, so that I don't get all that extra starch in there, which will spike my blood sugar. But that's just me personally. And quinoa, quinoa is a great grain. I like quinoa. It doesn't like me personally. It's really hard for me to digest, but as long as you rinse it, and a lot of people, you can soak your grains too. Any of your rices, your quinoas, wild rice, things like that. You can soak them. So put them in a bowl, fill it up with water, and just let it sit overnight, and then rinse it really well again, and that definitely makes it easier to digest later on. So if you're one of those people that has digestive issues, rinse, 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 and repeat. But yeah, none of them are, better, quote unquote, than any of the others. It's just about how they treat you personally. Is nutrient timing really important, or should I just eat when I am hungry? So this is from Spring. I love this question because yes, eat when you're hungry. I'm all about intuitive eating. I don't count calories. I don't look at the clock and say, okay, it's 12 o'clock, I'm supposed to eat now. If my body isn't hungry, I don't put food in it. My body tells me when it needs nutrients, and I listen to it. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to override that, or they don't listen to their body, and it gets them into some trouble when it comes to energy or maybe weight gain or weight loss. So it's definitely good to listen to your body. Your body tells you so much throughout the day in so many different ways, and it's up to you to pay attention to those signs and to pay attention. Sometimes our bodies are screaming at us and we're still kind of like, la, 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 I can't hear you. So yeah, Spring, definitely listen to your body. If your body is hungry, it will tell you. If it needs food, it will tell you. But don't ignore it so that you get to the point where you're like, hangry, and you're really hurting and your energy level just completely plummets, because then your blood sugar goes down and then you've got a whole other host of problems. Okay, so, this is a good question. We're interested in a farm delivery subscription. Are vegetables that come straight from the farm better than those in the grocery store? That is a really interesting question. So I love the farm delivery subscriptions. They are a really great way to support local farmers. I personally love to get my fruits and vegetables from local farmers, like straight out of the ground, I feel is best. But that's just me, if time doesn't allow for you to go to farmers markets, or if cost doesn't allow you to get one of these subscriptions, a lot of times they are actually cheaper than buying produce in the grocery store. But, it's up to you. You have to pick your battles, you guys. Picking your battles, that's progress over perfection always, right? You can't be perfect. You can't do it 100% perfectly, because there is no perfect. There's no set rules on how to eat and when to eat and what to eat. It's everybody is different, and what works for your lifestyle may not work for my lifestyle, and vice versa. So I love the subscriptions, though. That's a really great way to try new vegetables, because a lot of them you can pinpoint and say, okay, I want carrots, I want rutabagas, and I want eggplant, and others you can say, give me whatever you want. Give me what's growing. Give me what's super fresh and what's in this season. And then I used to do this, and I'd open up the box and be like, what is that? I don't even know what to do with that. And then I'd look up how to prepare it. And a lot of these places will actually provide some recipes for kind of the oddball vegetables that not many people know about. So it's a great way to definitely learn about some new produce and try some new things and expose your families to new things. So yeah, if you found one that you like, go for it. I love it. Okay, what should I eat to gain weight? Cheryl. So definitely, talk to your doctors about this first, you guys. I'm not a physician, I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV. So if you're looking to gain weight, talk to your doctor about this. But, it's real food. It goes back to real food. And if there are any, sudden, unexplained weight losses or gains, that's definitely when you want to talk to your doctor and figure out if there's something more specific going on. It could be a hormonal thing. It could be a whole host of things. So, definitely, if I've got someone coming into my practice and they want to put on some extra muscle, yes, I will tell them, let's beef up the protein. And we'll usually do like a protein powder, a very clean protein powder. But it has a lot to do with just eating real food and getting exercise. So yeah, that's kind of a tough one that I can't really answer here. But I will say definitely, talk to your doctors, talk to your medical professional, and find out what's going on with your body. Why do you need to gain weight? Is there something going on that maybe needs to be looked at? Okay, another question. Right now, a lot of the popular diets seem very limited. Are those safe and effective long term? This is from Jamie. Jamie, this is a good question. There are a lot of diets out there. There's Whole30, there's the ketogenic diet. I mean, there's a gazillion of them. And there's the autoimmune diet. There's so many. And paleo. So yes, they are very limiting. But if you look at them all, the ones that are popular right now, they are limiting. But they are limiting processed foods and refined sugars. And they're not limiting real food. It's basically getting rid of all the processed stuff and leaving you with fruits and vegetables and meats and eggs, and some of them offer cheese and things like that, but they're all a little bit different, but for the most part they all focus on real food. So no, I don't think eating real food long term is unsafe at all. I think it is extremely safe and extremely healthy, and that's the way I live my life, and that's the way I feed my kids and my family. So I 100% support eating real food all the time. And definitely, everybody slips. Like I said, progress over perfection. Everybody slips, and every now and then, you've got the crackers or the cookies or the ice cream cone, whatever, and I'm not saying don't get rid of that stuff, because nobody can eat 100% clean 100% of the time. It's not sustainable, right? You might be able to do it for several weeks at a time or even several months, but it's not sustainable. It's really difficult to do. And it can make a lot of people, really upset and sad. So, everything in moderation, but if you're eating, 80% clean and the 20% is just a little treat here and there, I think you're doing okay. That's a really great way to stay healthy and stay on top of your health. Okay, so can you share your grocery shopping tips with us? Oh boy. And okay, so yeah, there are two questions. Is there a specific blender or Vitamix model you recommend, or are they all the same? And can you share your grocery shopping tips with us? Okay, so grocery shopping tips. I'm sure you guys have all heard this. Stay on the outside aisles of the grocery store. All the stuff on the inside is the processed stuff, most of the stuff. Usually the frozen food section is there. You can still get frozen vegetables that are okay. But as a general rule, stay on the outside aisles and you'll be good to go, because that's where the real food is: the fruits, the vegetables, and the meats. So I don't usually, I batch cook, so I meal prep, and I just I've done it for so long now that I go to the grocery store and I've got a general list, but I don't really have a list of recipes I'm going to make that week or for the next 3 or 4 days. So I'll just go in and say, all right, we're about out of butternut squash. I'll get some of that. And we're about out of broccoli. We're always out of broccoli. So I'll get some of that. And then I'll just go to the meat department and look at what, looks fresh and looks good. And I'll say, oh, like recently I said, oh, chicken legs. We haven't made chicken legs in forever. And I wonder if anybody in the family will eat them. So I cooked up a bunch of chicken legs, and my daughter went crazy for them. And I went, okay, well, I'm gonna have to start buying chicken legs more often, because normally I buy chicken breasts. And she's kind of like me about chicken breasts. So little did I know that she was a chicken leg fan. Same thing, there was some meat on sale the other day. It was, what was it? It was a skirt steak, I think it was. And it was like crazy cheap for this grass-fed, grass-finished, really good quality hunk of meat. And I went, well, I don't really know what to do with that. I don't usually cook with that, but heck, I'll get one. And we threw it on the grill. We cooked it for a few minutes on each side, and I sliced it up real thin, and it was amazing. So yeah, look at the sales. If you're trying to stay budget friendly, look at the sales and figure out what to do with it. You might have to do a quick Google search and say, how long do I cook a chicken leg? Which is what I had to do, because I haven't made a chicken leg in ages. But just go around and see what looks fresh, and just know that Google is always right there in your face with your phone, so you can always, even I've been known to do this in the grocery store. I'll type in, oh, I don't know what to do with this particular vegetable, and I'll type it in and be like, oh, there's a recipe that looks good. Great, I'll buy some. So I just load up on fruits and vegetables, not even a lot of fruit, but mostly vegetables and a lot of different meats, and I'll batch cook. I will do, you know, like 3 or 4 meats at a time, and then I'll do like 4 or 5 vegetables. I'll cook up either in a stir fry or I'll roast them in the oven. We do a lot of grilling, especially this time of year. So we'll turn on the grill and we'll put, you know, that skirt steak on there along with some chicken, along with a whole bunch of vegetables. You know, I'll put like a whole head of romaine lettuce. I put a little olive oil and salt on it, and we just like kind of sear it on the outside. It is amazing. Okay, and then back to the Vitamix question. Is there a specific blender or Vitamix model that you recommend, or are they all the same? I don't even know what my model is. It's the one I got from Costco several years ago. I love the Vitamix. I probably use it like 4 times a day. And I make soups, I make smoothies. We do, you know, protein shakes, things like that. So yeah, they're all kind of the same as far as Vitamix goes. I haven't studied all the other blenders out there. I mean, I know there's like the Ninja and all that, and I haven't really played around with them. But personally, I love my Vitamix. It makes the smoothest soup you could ever imagine. So I love it, and I got it at Costco. But they have different sizes, you know. It all depends on how much you cook. If you make this much soup versus this much soup, whatever. It's everybody's preference. Okay, what are you making with butternut squash? I need ideas. Okay, this is our last question. So butternut squash, I totally cheat, you guys. At the grocery store, I buy it pre-cut because cutting up a butternut squash, peeling a butternut squash, they're slippery little suckers. They roll all over the kitchen floor, and then you have to try to cut into it, and you just need like arms of steel to try to get through that. So I gave up that battle a long time ago and said, if it's pre-cut at the store, I'm totally gonna buy it. So it comes in little cubes. I'll get a package of that. I throw it onto a cookie sheet. I'll drizzle a little olive oil on it, a little salt and pepper. You could do garlic, salt, onions, whatever spices you like. I smush it all up with my fingers, and I throw it in like a 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes, and it's amazing. So I'll eat it that way, or I will throw it in the Vitamix once it's been cooked. I'll throw it in the Vitamix with some other vegetables. Usually I'll cook the butternut squash with like some carrots and some bell peppers, and I'll just put it all on the cookie sheet with olive oil and some salt, and then I'll cook it for about 20 minutes at 425, and then I'll use half of it and stick it in the fridge for just like these bowls that we put together with the protein and the vegetables, and then I'll take the other half and I'll throw it in the Vitamix with a little broth, and then I'll just whirl it up. It probably takes like 4 minutes in the Vitamix, and it becomes the smoothest, creamiest soup you've ever had. And I actually kind of make it a little bit thick by not putting as much broth in it, and then I use that as kind of a sauce. So I'll do like some rice, and I'll put whatever protein on is, you know, in my refrigerator at the time, chicken, meat, whatever. And then I'll maybe put some broccoli in there, and then I'll drizzle that butternut squash sauce on the top, mix it all up, and it's an amazing, super simple lunch bowl or dinner bowl. Okay, so that was our last question. So thank you guys so much for joining us. That was a lot of fun. So we have a winner for tonight's $50 Trader Joe's gift card, and that is Jennifer Marchek. So congratulations, Jennifer. You get $50 to spend at Trader Joe's. I was just there, and they have these really yummy, like cherry plums going on right now. So be sure to grab some of those with your $50. It's like a cross between a plum and a cherry. They're amazing. Okay, so thank you guys so much for participating, and keep the questions coming. We got some good stuff coming at you in August. So we'll see you then.